I want to teach the world to invest. I'm kind of playing off Coca-Cola's commercial back in the 70s. I want to teach the world to sing. And I think I can teach the world to invest. This was all inspired as a result of my taking a course or being selected to be, as a small business, to be taught how to grow. Someone wanted, and it's Goldman Sachs, wanted to teach me to grow my business. In fact, they want to teach more people. They have invested $750 million in a philanthropic effort to teach small businesses to grow their business because it will grow our economy. It will grow the world's economy. Yesterday, I was talking with the director of the 10,000 small businesses of Goldman Sachs, and Ann told me that they're actually expanding it into Europe in the coming months because they want to teach the world how to grow small business, because it is the growth engine that drives the world's economy. And as I said, I did the calculation, and they're spending about $45,500 on me and the 25 other people who are in the Alabama cohort that I'm participating with. Why are they doing this? Because it's good for the world's economy, and what's good for the world's economy is good for Goldman Sachs. So that all makes sense. But what I got to thinking about is what would be even better for the world's economy. And I believe it would be to teach 100 million people how to invest. Why is it important to teach 100 million people how to invest? Because if you can teach them to invest, it will directly affect the world's economy. Right now, 10% of Americans own 93% of the stocks that are available on the exchanges. So that then creates the situation where that same 10% own 90% of the wealth in the world, because the way to accumulate wealth is to invest in successful companies. And that's what I want to teach you and the rest of the world. Now, the problem is I don't have $750 million that I can invest to teach you and the other 10 million people who don't know how to invest. I don't have it. But then I realized I don't need it. I need to master AI, artificial intelligence, and then digitize it and then present it to you in a format so that you can learn to invest not only in yourself, but in the world's economy. And then that will make the world a better place. And that's one of my goals, to leave this place better than when I showed up 80 years ago. And that's what I want to work on, and I want you to become a part of. How can I economically do that? Well, if I can digitize the information that you need to become a better investor, and I can put it in a format that you can access it, and it doesn't cost me anything after I've created it for it, I can do it for a fraction of the $750 million that Goldman Sachs is spending. What I've done is I've started to incorporate that into my website. I've created what I call a cheat sheet. And because of my limited capabilities, I can only focus on 42 stocks. And those are the stocks that I believe that are going to drive our economy over the next 10 to 15 years. And that is those stocks who are focusing on AI, which is driven by semiconductors, who are going to create this new wave of information. In essence, over the last 20 years, companies like Amazon, Google, Microsoft, and Meta and Apple have gathered all the data in the world. They've even read all the books of the past, and they've put it in silos. They call them clouds that hold all the information, all the intelligence, all the knowledge in the world. And then through accelerated computing, they're going to make it available to us. Well, also, that then gives me the opportunity to access that information, digitize it, and share it with you on my cheat sheet relative to my 42 stocks, so that you can ask questions and get answers, such as, what is a PE ratio? And how does a PE ratio relate to a PEG ratio? And how does that create or relate to a PB ratio, a price to book? And if you can get those answers, you can make better investment decisions. Let me take you to my cheat sheet and show you exactly how that works. This is my cheat sheet. As I said, it focuses on 42 stocks in the AI semiconductor industry, and I list them down, starting with Apple and going down here to Vertiv. What I'm showing you then is the various elements of the financial analysis on each one of the stocks, such as right here, if you want to learn how financial analysis works, you merely put your cursor on here, and it will take you to Samantha and Bruce's explanation of what financial analysis is. We don't have time to go through all of these, so let me just share with you how it works on what is a PE ratio. So we put our cursor on here, we click on it, we then go, and Samantha and Bruce will tell us what is a PE ratio.
All right, so we're diving into the PE ratio today. Got some great sources to unpack, like Forbes Advisor and Investopedia.
Oh, and some interesting opinions from Reddit's value investing community.
Right, and even a piece on the PEG ratio, which we'll get to later. But
the PE ratio is more than just a number. You know, it's like a glimpse into how investors are feeling about a company. Shows their confidence.
Samantha and Bruce go on for about 10 minutes and explain to you in detail what a PE ratio is and how it relates to other ratios so that you can make better investment decisions. As you can see here, I do it for basically everything that the metrics that you need to know to make a good investment decision on a stock. What is an asset turnover ratio? Here we go even to more depth of what is a PEG ratio and how does it relate to how you make better decisions. And what you're going to learn is your PEG ratio. If it's high, it indicates that there is probably that the stock is overpriced, whereas if it's below 1, it's probably underpriced. And you can come down here and then you can compare each stocks that you're considering and saying, well, is its PE ratio high or is it low relative to its competition? Is its PEG ratio? How about its book ratio? How about its turnover on assets? And again, under each one of these, you'll see this icon that you can go, and Samantha and Bruce will explain it to you. Now, the beauty of this is you're going to forget much of what they told you, but you can come back. You have a source that is concise and direct that you can refresh your mind and you can learn. Because that's, again, what we're trying to do, is to teach you how to become a better investor. Okay, so then where do we go from there? Well, here we show the Wall Street targets prices for the future. But wait a second. How does Wall Street create those target prices? Well, let's ask Samantha and Bruce. And again, Samantha and Bruce, if we click on that, it will go to their dissertation.
Ready to dive into a topic that I know is on everyone's mind.
Always the hot one, right?
Definitely it's price targets, and we've got some really interesting research lined up today.
Yeah, some good stuff.
Articles like price target, what is it, formula, example, advantages, and also price target, how to understand and calculate, plus accuracy.
Nice.
And I have a feeling we're going to uncover some surprising insights to.
So Bruce and Samantha, again, explain it to you. So now when you see that some Wall Street analyst believes that the price target for ASML is $908, and the price of the stock is currently $660. Well, how did they come up with that price so that you're a better investor? And that will help you. Then we go and we say, okay, let's look at ASML in itself. What can we learn from Samantha and Bruce about ASML? So again, we click.
Okay, so let's...
and Samantha and Bruce give us the analysis that they've gathered from the various articles that they've found on the internet everywhere. They scrub the internet on ASML, and they give us their analysis.
How this Dutch company is navigating, I don't know, it feels like a wild ride, right? Export controls, geopolitical tensions, shifting chip demand. We're going to try to unpack all of that.
Yeah.
Especially how ASML's outlook for 2025 is, I guess, changing, and we'll...
Does that make sense? Does that say, well, that's something I need to know? Okay, I have a source now, and I can go here to 42 different stocks, and I can get the analysis from artificial intelligence to make me a better investor, to help me make better investment decisions, to teach me how to become one of the 1%ers who own 90% of the stocks in the stock market. Because if I successfully invest and my investment portfolio goes up in value, I can buy more. I can become a part of the world's economy that is successful beyond their ability to work for a day-to-day job. They can invest in their own future as the economy grows. So now I want to know, what is the situation today in these 42 stocks that I should be made aware of because of the news that has come out in the last 24 hours relative to these stocks? How can I keep up with today's activities? Well, I click here. The Bus 13, 42 stocks, deep dive for 11/13/2024. I click here.
Hey, Kerry. Welcome to this deep dive. We're going to be taking a look at tech stocks today.
They're talking to me.
The semiconductor and software markets.
Right.
And we've got some articles here from Seeking Alpha. We're going to be looking at, let's see, Alphabet, Intel, Micron, Microsoft, and Palantir.
Palantir.
Super.
Remember, they're bots.
And Ultra Clean Holdings. So, kind of the whole gamut.
Yeah, you picked a really interesting time to be looking at this sector. You know, you've got the AI boom that's happening, and there's also a lot of potential policy changes coming down the line.
That's what you find on my cheat sheet. And it's driven by AI. Imagine this now, if we can take it beyond just 42 stocks, if we can then expand it into the whole realm of all the stocks in the world, and we can compare them, and we level the playing field. We now have a source of information that is timely and concise. And is it accurate? Well, it's coming from the knowledge of the world. It's coming from other people's opinions, but so ultimately we have to make the decision. But with the more information we have and the more knowledge that we accumulate over time, the better we become at it. I have a friend, Rick, who is a successful businessman, and he asked me, I have so many questions. I have a financial advisor, but I want to manage my portfolio myself, and I have so many questions, and I have no one to ask. Well, what if Rick can come here and he wants to know, what is a PE ratio? What is a asset turn ratio? What is a ROE ratio? He can ask and get answers and then feel comfortable making good and informed investment decisions and managing his own portfolio. Because, again, a successful businessman, his capability of earnings is limited to the hours that he has to devote to his business. If we can take the earnings that we make from our investments or our business and put it into investments, we can multiply exponentially the growth of our wealth into the future. But we have to make informed decisions. We have to be able to go through all the fluff to come up with sound decisions. And I believe that can be achieved through artificial intelligence. Now let's talk about the economics of putting this together. I want to teach the world to invest. And I must say, this has all been inspired as a result of my dealings with Goldman Sachs and their program of 10,000 small businesses, and what they taught me and what they inspired me, that if they, as Ann said, can teach 16,000 small businesses how to improve their business such that they can hire more people, access more capital, and grow our economy. Again, they inspired me to say, if we can take that beyond the small businesses of not only the United States and not only the world, but what if with artificial intelligence we can bring the price tag down from, what was it, $750 million to something that is more manageable, and through using artificial intelligence and machine learning and all the things that are coming in the future, we can actually create a platform where the 100 million people can come and learn how to invest. Because, again, I'm going to take that off the cheat sheet and I'm going to make it available. It's going to be a school that you can just come in and sign up and have access to all this information. And then where does it go from there? Well, first of all, one of the elements is we're going to go beyond just semiconductors and AI. What about dividend stocks? What about the medical industry? I mean, the stock growth in there is going to be astronomical as artificial intelligence steps in there. And then the energy industry. We're recognizing that what we're doing, we're consuming so much more energy, so there's opportunity there. And then what about this whole world of bonds? There's more trading done on a day-to-day basis in bonds, but again, we're ignorant to that. There's more money made in bonds than there are in stocks, but we're, including me, are ignorant to that because no one has ever taught us. But now, through the access of artificial intelligence, I can learn about that. You can learn about that. You can ask questions. You can go click on icons and Samantha and Bruce will explain it to you. Come on, this is crazy. How about swing trading? How about day trading? How about real estate? How about small business? I mean, Goldman Sachs isn't going to be able to teach us all, but maybe we can create a platform here on Best of Us Investors that will do that. Because, again, it isn't going to cost $750 million to do it because we've cut out the professors. We've cut out the going to the college and the brick and mortar. It's all digital. Now, here's another crazy thing I'm thinking about. What if Warren Buffett's ahead of me by 14 years? He's 94 years old. We're going to lose that guy. But what if we can digitize him? What if I can go to Omaha, Nebraska, sit down with Warren for 3 hours and interview him, and then take Becky Quick's interviews and all the interviews he's done and digitize them, and then allow Warren, with his permission, to become an instructor for forever on how to make long-term investments. And what about in the small business world? What if we can get Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg to show up and teach the small businesses, the entrepreneurs of the world? This is how the step-by-step how you go into Seattle, Washington, into a garage, decide you're going to sell books, and it turns into one of the largest companies in the world. What about two college students sitting in a dorm room in Harvard and have an idea about putting together a dating platform that turns into one of the largest social media platforms? Or what about this guy named Elon Musk? What if we could get him to teach us about disruption and put it into a format that everybody can access, so that, again, the goal is to teach the world to invest? What if I could teach the world not to sing, but to invest? What impact would that have on our economy? What impact would that have on the lives of those who are having trouble putting food on the table today if they knew how to invest? We haven't had the teachers. For 80 years, we haven't had teachers, because I know that because I had to teach myself. But now it's available. And all we've got to do is put it together. As I said, I talked to Ann yesterday from Goldman Sachs. If Goldman Sachs got behind this, you aren't going to have to spend $750 million. Give me $7.5 million and I'll blow this thing up. This is Best of Us Investors. This is how I think. Welcome to my world. And if you want to be a part of my world, and if you want access to the cheat sheet that I've got now, you just come to Best of Us Investors and join our gold platform. Right now, this is available for $19.99, and it's growing faster than I can keep up with it. So if you want to be a part of this, if you want to say, hey, I was a part of that changing of the world, I was a part of teaching the world to invest, I had input as it took off in 2024 and 2025, and then took over the world in 2026. And the world was not only singing, but it was investing. And you say, well, did they teach the world to sing? Look at what's happened to the music industry since 1971. Hell yes, they've taught to sing. Look at Taylor Swift. She's a billionaire. And she's a singer. Yes, they taught the world to sing. Now is our opportunity, you and I's opportunity, to teach the world to invest and to make this a better place than the one we arrived at. Kerry Grinkmarmer, retired financial advisor. I just wish I knew all this. But again, the artificial intelligence hasn't been available. I mean, Sam Altman just told us about ChatGPT in November of 2022. And now here we are 2 years later. And it's exploding. We've got Samantha and Bruce that will educate us for nothing. Let's explore this some more. Show up this Friday. Join the gold group, the gold platform, $19.99 a month, and show up Friday, the Friday Stock Talk, and get involved. Get involved in this movement. Join this community. Talk to you then.